Sometime roughly 10 years ago, Samsung released an experiment known as the Samsung Galaxy Note, which essentially was a larger phone than the S series with a pen. And actually, it was quite successful. And it continued to be quite successful until, well, recently. There have been a few issues with the latest few notes, and it all began with the Note 7. The Note 7 is essentially what got people to start skepticizing, okay, is this phone good or is it not? The Note 7 experience was already bad enough, but Samsung was able to rectify some of it with the Note 8, which I have actually handled once upon a time, and I gotta tell you this, despite that I'm an iPhone user, I love the Note 8. That was a great phone. Except, well, what happened? So my definition of the Samsung Galaxy Note is it's the phone Samsung makes that throws every single feature into this brick that you can use. So not only do you get the S Pen, but you also get so many other both software and hardware features that, well, not that many phones offer. And because it was this feature-packed, amazing phone, people kept saying, if you want the best phone Samsung ever makes, go for the Note, because the Note is essentially everything Samsung's got in one package. You need a headphone jack? Yep, it's in there. Want a stylus? Yep. Software features that are exclusive to big screens? Yep. You could do so much with the Samsung Galaxy Note, but there's kind of a problem with that. After the Note 9, which was the best Note ever, according to Linus Tech Tips himself, he still daily drives a Samsung Galaxy Note 9. After the Note 9, that's when things began to fall apart. 2 Note models. There was a problem with that. So the Note 10 brought 2 different Note phones, a regular Note and a Note 10 Plus. What's the problem with that? Well, the Note was known as the phone that had every single feature thrown into one phone. But now there's 2 phones, so it really breaks that mentality. But not to mention, not only did the Plus obviously have every single feature thrown into it because the Note was still known as the every feature in one package phone, but the minus or the regular Note 10 actually took away some features that are pretty common, like micro SD card expansion. Screen was also 1080p versus 1440, even though it's not that big of a difference. I mean, people bought an iPhone XR with a 720p display. Still, for a power user who wants everything thrown into one phone, that's not really great. Pretty much the problem was they started to break off the Note into something else. It was no longer the everything thrown into one phone, because now there's a Plus version of it. That's not everything thrown into one phone. It's really the Plus model of the Note 10 that really should have just been the Note 10. It shouldn't have had a little sibling like that, but Samsung decided it should. And then again this year, we have the exact same problem, but to an even bigger extent. We have another Plus and a minus phone. So once again, the Plus phone, or in this case it's actually the Ultra version of the Note 20 should be the Note 20 versus the Note 20 being the Note 20. Here's why. Because now it's even worse than before. Not only does it still have that 1080p display, but also, unlike the Samsung Galaxy S20, the standard one, and the Fan Edition as well, the Note 20 only has a 60 Hz panel, while the rest of their flagships have 120. Interesting cost cutting. Again, 1080p panel what would you expect? Still no micro SD, certain camera features were removed, bigger bezels, believe it or not. But the worst yet, that I gave it a lot of criticism for, the plastic back. Yes, keep in mind, the Note 20, not the Ultra. The Ultra is a completely different beast, although it should be the Note 20. The Note 20 is priced at $1,000. It's missing these basic Android flagship features. Kinda saying something. So the Note sales have actually really suffered because now, due to how Samsung has positioned the base model Note, since now there is a base model Note, it looks terrible. It's putting a lot of negativity towards the Note name, and Samsung just expects, well, yeah, this isn't the greatest, so step up to the Ultra version or the Plus version. I don't think that's what your fan base wants, Samsung, because you've already built up quite a reputation with the Note being the most feature-packed phone out there. And, well, you have not been delivering on that. So, Note sales have been suffering, and it's pretty clear Samsung is starting to lose interest in fixing the problem by bringing it back to just one Note versus two Notes. And then there's already another problem that the Note's already having. Samsung is making way too many flagships. We have the S and the Note series. Those are the flagships of Samsung. So let's talk about how many phones we got in that flagship series real quick. We got the regular S20, S20 Plus, S20 Ultra, S20 Fan Edition, Note 20, Note 20 Ultra. 6 flagships. That's kind of a lot, and I know that it's a lot that Apple released 4 different iPhones, 5 if you're including the SE this last year, but Samsung releases so many more phones, and while it does allow them to make a phone for every demographic, the problem is, when you're shopping for a phone, you're bombarded with options that it's hard to make a decision. Basic problem? Okay, I want a flagship phone. Which one do I choose? Answer ain't that easy anymore, because now there are technically 6 flagships that Samsung has, and they're about to get updated once again with the new S21 phones coming out. But when you have more of different types of products, it instantly becomes harder to sell them, because not only do your products have to compete with everyone else's, but your products are now competing with your products. What I mean by that is, say, Apple released the iPhone 12 Pro along with other 12s. Okay, so they wanted to sell the 12 Pro, but it's got a slight problem. It has to compete with the sales of the cheaper and similar iPhone 12 and the even cheaper and similar 12 mini. But also, even though it's slightly more expensive, the complete package 12 Pro Max at $100 more. So yeah, not only do your phones compete with other companies' products, but they also compete with your own products, which means harder sales. So yeah, this Samsung messed up ever since the Note 10 incident. I mean, the Note 7 was already pretty bad, but now that the Note 10 has come out, it's essentially signaled the beginning of the death of the Note. So, yep. Goodbye, Note. You were a great series, but Samsung decided to be idiots and make huge mistakes that signal that you do not have a future. So, bye, Note. Thanks for watching. Do me a favor and interact with the buttons below. Be sure to check out the rest of the Random Alpha Network. My name is Alpha DeWolf. Random Alpha, signing out.